Yeah, Chris, a disappointing night for you.
Yes, it was. I think particularly the run that we've been on the back of a really good performance, but we never really got going. Up against a team that play a certain way, man for man, all over the park, and we needed to impose ourselves more on them, which we wasn't able to do. And if you can't do that, then what you've got to be resolute at the back. And for a team like us that have been solid at the back and haven't looked like conceded, I thought we conceded two really poor goals.
Yeah, I mean it was a slow start, wasn't it? Right from the first couple of minutes, Chris, they got at you down the right hand side. It almost set the tone, I thought.
Yeah, well, they play a certain way. As I said, they go man for man all over the park, and what you've got to have is you've got to have runners to stretch the play, and we didn't run behind enough. We're up against a side that are quite happy if you're playing the game in our own half. And sometimes you've got to stretch them for the sake of just stretching them, and that gets the ball further up the park. It might be throw-ins in the final third, and then you're able to gather a little bit of momentum. But we never done that well enough. Most of what we wanted to do was ball to feet, and I think they capitalised on it.
You mentioned the goals, Chris. You'll be unhappy with both of them.
Both goals, and it's certainly in the form that we've been in, and the defensive form that we've been in. It's not like us, and that's probably the most disappointing aspect. And I think the first one, because of the timing of it. I think as the game opens up, the second one can happen. I think we'd thrown some bodies forward, but we've still got to do better. But I think that the timing of the first one, I think, it didn't allow us to get into a rhythm in the game, and at least, get to half time, at 0-0, assess it, and then look for us to push forward from there. So yeah, really disappointed with the goals.
Yeah, and having made your change at half time, you really needed a good start to the second half, and then 5 minutes in you find yourself 2-0 down.
Yes, the timing of both goals went against us, but I can't say that we were a better side. I can't say we deserved to get a result from the game. I thought we were up against a good team today, and they play a certain way. They play to their strengths, but they've got quality in the side. And I thought at the moments that they needed to, I thought they showed that.
What about what happened later on, the sending off for Yuri Ribeiro? What did you make of it?
I must admit, I haven't seen it. I haven't spoken to the referee, but my gut feeling is that I don't have any complaints with it. I think for where we are, what we've got to make sure and do is that we've got to make sure to keep our discipline. And when Lowell Taylor gets booked, it's no need for him to get booked at that particular moment in time, and for Yuri at a time when we're pushing to get back into the game, and when anything can happen, then you can't allow yourself to let the frustration get the better of you. So even though I haven't seen it, but my gut feeling is that it would have been the right decision.
I was going to ask you about that. I know it's only 3 or 4 minutes in the game, the last 3 or 4 minutes, but I wonder if that was not only the sending off, but after you'd scored your goal and you wanted to be laying siege at that end. Was it frustrating for you that you couldn't really get out your own half?
Very frustrating, and from the moment when Anthony comes deep to pick up the ball, we really want Anthony up far higher up the pitch to give us an opportunity. At that stage, which pushed a lot of bodies forward. Scott McKenna is playing as a centre forward, and they, if I'm in Middlesbrough's shoes, I'm doing exactly what they do, and they're biding for time, wasting as much time as they can, keeping the ball in the corner. That's managing the game, and they managed it very well.
And what about Ryan Yates? What happened to him? What's he done?
Don't know yet. I think it possibly his calf, but I shall find out. But at the time, it didn't look good at the time, and as we know with Ryan, he's a tough individual. So we'll assess that one, and I'm hoping it's not too bad.
And that central midfield area seems to be a little bit jinxed for you this season.
Well, it's not only jinx. It's if I'm looking at where we are as regards bodies, then we're having to put a centre half on as a sub in that central midfield position because of the numbers that we've got. So we're hoping it's not too bad, but we'll wait and see.
Is that the sort of thing that if it turns out to be, in the next couple of days you get bad news, does that kind of maybe change your January plans? Might you have to look in that position where maybe you weren't thinking of it?
Possibly, but probably don't want to jump into anything until we find out the extent of it, and of course, hopefully, we'd like to think that it's not too bad, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see.